Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Welcome to this Bees transfer talk and Bees Villa preview stream, obviously, and other news. Of course, there's some other news as well to talk about with the Bees. So I'll get straight into it, guys. And yeah, I know I'm a little bit delayed again, slightly late. I was supposed to be on here at 2:40. But yeah, I'm on here now, and there is plenty to chat about. And before I get into the actual, obviously, preview, there's a little bit I want to talk about with Visser again. Don't really want to get into a load talking about him, to be honest, again. But obviously, there has been a bit of news regarding that. And I'll just do that, bring that up now, the article. And here we go. Right, try and get rid of this advert. Right. Brentford reveal major Johan Visser training ground update as £60 million Newcastle United transfer links intensify. Newcastle United transfer news. Brentford striker Johan Visser remains a top target for the Magpies this summer. Brentford have posted a major update from their training ground as Johan Visser is spotted back in training with Keith Andrews' first team. Visser has been heavily linked with a move to Newcastle United throughout the summer and reportedly told the Bees hierarchy that he would never play for them again if denied a move to St James Park. Visser was not included in Andrews' first Premier League matchday squad of the season at the weekend as his side fell to a 3-1 defeat against Nottingham Forest. At the City Ground, Visser at that time had been instructed to train away from his teammates and amid uncertainty over his future at the club. However, in a blink and you'll miss it update on Brentford's Instagram page, a video of Visser taking a shot in pre-season training indicates that the DR Congo international has been reintegrated into Andrew's squad. Brentford face Aston Villa this weekend, seeking to put their defeat to Forest behind them in front of their own fans. Whether Visser is involved in that match remains to be seen, although a proposed move to Tyneside has seemingly stalled in recent days. Brentford remain determined to keep hold of Visser despite that stance reportedly easing a couple of weeks ago. Newcastle United submitted a fresh bid for Visser earlier this week, one reported to be worth £40 million in all. However, that was swiftly rejected by the Bees. Newcastle United striker search intensifying. After seeing that improved offer for Visser being knocked back by Brentford, Newcastle United have reportedly shifted their attention elsewhere and now have a move for Wolves' Jørgen Strand Larsen firmly in their sights. The Norwegian international scored 14 goals whilst on loan at Molineux last season before that was turned into a permanent stay for £23 million earlier this summer. Wolves could more than double their money on the 25-year-old if the Magpies turn their interest into a concrete bid. Fresh reports from the Express and Star have revealed that Wolves face a real fight to keep hold of the striker this summer, and that the two clubs are just £5 million apart in their valuations of the former Sevigo man. Personal terms between the Magpies and Strand Larsen are not anticipated to be a problem if a fee between the two clubs can be agreed. Wolves, who have already lost Matthias Cunha to Manchester United this summer, will not want to lose their talisman, though, and much like Brentford, may be reluctant to sanction a deal that sees their star striker depart. I won't go into any more of that because obviously that's not really to do with us anyway. I shouldn't really have read that bit really, but anyway. Right, so getting on to that about Visser training. Yeah, that's good, but I don't know exactly what it means. He is in training, but does he still want out? I'm sure he does, obviously. And the fact that he's removed anything to do with the bees on his social accounts, on his social networking accounts and stuff, well, that means he really doesn't want to be here. But the fact he's training, I suppose that's something. He's still there with the other lads training. As I say, don't exactly know what that means, but and big up to you, Taki. Thanks for being in here, bro. Nice one. Cheers, man, for being in here. Yeah, so what does it actually mean? I don't know. I know I've been been attacked sort of for sort of comments I've sent to other social networks and other forums on social, other social networking platforms, comments and certain things posted about obviously Johan Visser and my opinion on it, comments that I think it's mad what's going on, and I think I thought we should have probably accepted the offer. It would have been actually up to 40 mil, which is actually what we said in the first place, what we wanted in the first place. Yeah, we put it up to 60, and a lot of people are still saying the ball's in our court. We can, haggle with this. We can keep, stand our ground, stand firm. We could extend it to 2 years or whatever, another year. I mean, to his contract. And this and that, and all that. Yeah, it's fine. We're sort of like standing firm. We're not being backed into a corner. I get all that. I think that's great. I know people want that. They want to see us, haggle and get as much as we can. But it's also what I see is it's actually damaging the club. You can say all this, and yeah, it sounds right, and I'm not arguing against that. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with whatever they're saying, these other people, but they're obviously having to go at me for this one comment that I'm not happy with what he's doing here. And why should I be? I've been a Bees fan all my life nearly. I mean, I started being a fan since 1980 and, 5 years old. I used to go with my dad to Griffin Park, watch it every Saturday, watch the Bees or in the week, as well. So, I did used to go almost every time they were playing. Okay, not as much anymore, but it is harder to get tickets now as well. It's almost a bit of a lottery. But when I do go, I like still going. I know it's a new stadium and everything, community stadium, but it's a good stadium. But I always loved Griffin Park, and I always remember that's where my heart was for the club, at Griffin Park. Even though I do like the community stadium, but yeah, it's I've done one sort of post on that on Johan Visser and said and gave my thoughts and opinion on it, just one off. But obviously, I was slightly sort of attacked, you could say, and people think, and another thing, people thinking, well, I was being hostile with what I'm saying, but I'm not really. People really sort of, I don't know. It seems to me, too strongly over the top with their opinions of that. Please make it civilized, not out of order. Because I've got my own opinion, and it's just my opinion. Everyone is different. We all know that. Everyone has different opinions. If you don't really agree with what I'm saying, try and put it in a different way, and reply with a different sort of response that's not thought of as sort of condescending or laughing at me or this and that. Because I've got the best interests of this club at heart. I always have had. I love this club, and for me, being in the Premier is amazing. Spent all that time down there in the lower leagues and coming up through all sorts of hardships with obviously financial wise and things like that and everything else. And, I know going through those different clubs at lower level, and different grounds, it's you come through all that, and now we're in the big league, in the big Premier, and it's our 5th season, and now it's all changed because different manager, different backroom staff, new players in, a lot of players good. Our best players gone. Bramo's gone. Norgard's gone. Also the manager, as we know, Thomas Frank. Obviously, I will be going on to another player who's left, Roerslev, whether you can say he's an actually great player. But I will be going on to talking about him very soon. But yeah, it's really bad. It's like an upheaval, a dark cloud, grey cloud over the club. And I just want to see it sorted out and dealt with and finished, because this is dragging on. I know what people are saying. I just don't want it to get to a stage where we're not going to get nothing for him. That's what I want. As much as I want to get, say, this 60 mil or whatever, and get a load of money for a guy that's, worth that, I would say, what he done. You can't let it drag on and think, you're holding all the cards and everything. And, and you think you can stay strong forever and just, don't give in. But, at the end of the day, yeah, fair enough. But I don't want it to just completely dragging on. And at the end of the day, we got football matches to play. It's important. We got to come back now. We got Villa, and that's no easy game. And yes, it's at home. Yeah, I know it's at home at the G-Tech, but it is important. We got the players coming back, which is good. I'm glad. We got Damsgaard returning. We got Watara, new player in, of course, Malambo. Plenty of, our players coming back. Pinnock. All returning, which is great. Konak. So, there's quite a few. And it's good. It's a boost for us. But, all this going on in the background is not really needed. I want the morale and confidence, to be lit up in the club. And this guy has dragged it down a lot. But I'm glad to see he's in training still. He isn't just, staying isolated out in the background and doesn't want to get involved. But I'd like to see him say, well, look, now I want to get my head down and play for the club rather than, do what I can for the team and come back and maybe get us a few goals or something, in the meantime while he's still here. But anyway, let's move on. And before I go into the thing about, obviously, Manager Roerslev, I want to talk about a new appointment we got as our set-piece coach. And that's Stephen Rice, who's been appointed. And saying here, Brentford appoint Stephen Rice as first-team set-piece coach. Stephen Rice has joined Brentford as first-team set-piece coach, having previously worked as Republic of Ireland under-21s assistant coach. Head coach Keith Andrews. He's a detail-oriented coach who is very passionate and has a phenomenal work ethic. Stephen Rice has joined Brentford as first-team set-piece coach. Rice arrives at the club having spent time with the Irish Football Association as Republic of Ireland under-21s assistant coach, which he took up after roles as chief scout and opposition analyst. A spell as Crystal Palace under-23 senior professional development coach, came after a previous stint with the FAI, where he spent a decade as a football development coach and coach education tutor. The former midfielder's 17-year playing career was predominantly spent in Ireland after time with Coventry City as a manager. On the appointment, Brentford head coach Keith Andrews said, "We're delighted to get Stephen on board. The process to appoint a set-piece coach was very thorough. We interviewed people of different nationalities, of different levels of experience and in different roles. Stephen is someone that I've known a long time. We were on our pro licence together, and I was a big part of bringing him into the Irish setup when I was assistant manager, and he was with Palace. He had a particular focus on set pieces in that role. He's a detail-oriented coach who is very passionate and has a phenomenal work ethic. I'm very pleased he is with us." Well, that's great, Happy with that. That's brilliant. Yeah, very happy. Let's see what this guy can do. He's Keith Andrews knows him well. That's all important. Worked with him before, and whatever. So for me, that's important. And if he trusts him, got belief in him, knows what this guy can do, and we'll see. We'll see if he's as good as Andrews with what he done with the set pieces and so forth. So, quite happy with this, really. But, proof is in the pudding. It's we'll see. We'll find out when he gets to work. And I guess he'll be starting either today or whatever tomorrow. Well, I guess today. He would have started with the team and sorting out, going through, set piece routines and everything, formations and whatever else, tactics. So, just gonna, obviously I want to do the match preview, but I'll go to that very soon. I'm obviously going to talk about Roerslev. But let's, the build up. We'll go into all that in a minute. Right, just do this first. Talk about this. Roerslev has actually gone. He's joined Southampton, which I'm happy about. He's actually left. I wouldn't say he's a fantastic player. Well, saying that, he could still just be in the wrong position, played out of position. As much as I don't like what he's done, what I've seen of him, what he's, his tactical awareness, his marking, his whatever else, tackling, certain parts of his play, of his game, but can't really pick him to pieces and say he's that terrible. But I think great luck to the guy, good luck to him, and best of luck that he's gone to Southampton, and let's hope he does better there. He thrives there, and it didn't work out for him when he went to where was the other German team? Was it Werder Bremen? I think he was on loan at. It's good. No, well, I think it's actually Wolfsburg. Sorry, it's Wolfsburg. Yeah. But didn't work out for him there, and hopefully it will this time. It looks like he's gone permanently, which is good. Getting to the article here. Roerslev joined Southampton. Roerslev has left Brentford after 6 years at the club. Yeah, long time. So he's had a good time here. Well, not so good at times for us, but anyway. Joining Sky Bet Championship side Southampton in a permanent deal. Yeah, the right back initially signed for the B team, but went on to make 146 appearances for the first team, with 94 of those coming in the Premier League. Mads Roerslev has left Brentford to join Sky Bet Championship side Southampton for an undisclosed fee, so we don't know exactly what it is. The right back initially signed for Brentford B in 2019 before going on to make 146 appearances for the first team. One of those was in the Championship playoff final victory against Swansea City at Wembley Stadium, where he assisted Emiliano Marcondes' goal. I'll just say Emi Marcondes' goal, as the Bees were promoted to the Premier League. Roerslev played 94 times in the top flight, scoring in the West London derby draw with Chelsea and the winner against Aston Villa. Brentford director of football Phil Giles said, "In my opinion, Mads is one of the best signings we have ever made." Well, it's debatable. Not only did he agree to come through our B team and demonstrate that pathway, but he represented our first team with distinction and played a huge part in one of our greatest ever days. He will always be welcome back and be given a fantastic reception. We wish him well at Southampton and beyond. Yep, we do. We sure do. And whatever I've said about him and thought about him, that he's not right for the club and not good enough for the Premier. He has been good at times. I mean, especially the Championship, he's played a big part there. So I won't totally rubbish this guy, say bad shit about him, but obviously it's not. I don't think it's for him. Well, not us anyway in the Premier. Maybe it might work out better with Southampton, and they might put him where they know he can play better. They might know his position or know what he does best, or figure out some role for him there. So, I think this could be good for him, and it's good for us that he's gone. But anyway, Roerslev started out at Copenhagen's academy before joining Brentford B on a 2-year contract in August 2019. He broke into the first team squad that season, playing 10 games in his debut campaign and earning a new contract. Promoted to the first team that summer, he played back up to Henrik Dalsgaard during Brentford's charge to the playoff final, which they lost 2-1 to Fulham. The following season, a foot injury ruled Roerslev out for 4 months. But an injury to Dalsgaard towards the end of the campaign allowed him to claim a spot in the starting 11, a place he kept through to the 2021 Championship playoff final. During a 2-0 victory over Swansea City, he produced a quality assist for the second goal by Marcondes. Ivan Toney, Emiliano Marcondes goals that seemed like yesterday. Yeah. Pulse that got us up to the Premier. Brilliant. In his and the club's first season in the Premier League, Roerslev played 26 times, scoring his first Premier League goal against Aston Villa, which secured a 2-1 win. The following season, injuries to Aaron Hickey and Christopher Ayer saw Roerslev get another chance to impress in the Premier League. He played 20 games as the Bees finished 9th. Roerslev then played 34 games in the Premier League, which was a career high, and scored in a 2-2 draw with Chelsea in March. He also made his senior debut for Denmark that year, featuring in a 0-0 draw with Serbia in June 2024. The defender joined Bundesliga side Wolfsburg on loan for the remainder of the season in January 2024 and made 7 appearances in Germany. Obviously didn't quite work out for him there, so he came back, but now he's gone to Southampton, undisclosed the fee, of course, so don't exactly know what it was, but I'm sure it should be fairly good. He's not a bad player still. I mean, I will say he's not amazing. I don't think he's probably not exactly Premiership class. And I think, though, he could do well at Southampton, though, in the Championship. I think that might be his level, possibly. But we'll see. He may just improve. He may prove me wrong. Whether we'd have a chance to get him back if he does, I don't know. Maybe it's best we don't, but we'll see. We'll see. But good luck to the guy. Good luck to Mads Roerslev. And I know I've criticised you a lot in the past, mate, and slagged you off, but I do sincerely wish you all the luck and good luck at Southampton. So, well, nice one, mate. Anyway, let's go to this, obviously the preview and build-up for the game tomorrow. And this is the build-up here. Obviously, first team Andrews, I'm itching to go ahead of first home Premier League game. Keith Andrews has said he can't wait to get back to GTEC Community Stadium and in front of the Brentford fans this weekend as he prepares for his first Premier League home game as head coach against Aston Villa. Andrews, the home form is always key. We want to make our environment as an uncomfortable place for clubs to come and try and compete. So go through that a little bit more. Keith Andrews has expressed his excitement at getting back to GTEC Community Stadium and in front of the Brentford fans this weekend as he prepares for his first Premier League home game as head coach. Andrews added that he wants to make the GTEC an uncomfortable place for clubs to come ahead of the visit of an Aston Villa side who he described as a top team with really talented individuals, which they are. They are. I'm really excited and can't wait to get out there, said the Bees boss. We want to put the disappointment of the Nottingham Forest game to bed, move forward, iron out a few creases and embrace the occasion. I knew from afar about this football club and I witnessed it up close and personal over the last year. I know exactly the way the team should look. The connection with the fans and how we involve and engage them in the game will be absolutely critical. That's certainly the plan from the final whistle on Saturday. He added the club's home form is always key. We want to make our environment an uncomfortable place for clubs to come and try to compete. It's been a key aspect to the club in recent seasons and one we're looking to continue. I'm just itching to go. The second the previous game ends, you just can't wait for the next one. The group in general have been really focused on starting the home form in a positive manner. I felt that in training. Reflecting on last weekend's defeat to Forest, Andrews revealed the reaction from the players on Monday morning didn't really surprise me. There's a real resilience and determination about this group. It was straight back to it. We dusted ourselves down, debriefed the game, and recognised what we could have done better. He continued, there's a real togetherness about how we do things, and collectively, we were really disappointed with how we went about things in the first half last week. We have to learn from that ultimately and take that next step as a group. Right, so the team news, obviously ahead of the game tomorrow. Brentford team news update ahead of Aston Villa clash. 4 players who missed Brentford's defeat to Nottingham Forest last weekend are set to be available for selection ahead of the Premier League fixture against Aston Villa on Saturday. Bees head coach Keith Andrews also gave an update on Johan Visser and new signing Dango Ouattara. 4 players who missed Brentford's defeat to Nottingham Forest last weekend are back in training and in contention for selection ahead of the Aston Villa clash on Saturday. Mikael Damsgaard was absent from the 3-1 defeat at the City Ground after becoming a father last weekend. But a midfielder is in contention for the Villains' visit to TWA. Ethan Pinnock had a low-grade muscle injury that kept him out of the Forest game. I'm glad we got him back, to be honest. He's a bit of a rock there in defence. Very strong, as we know. Need him there. So it's great he's back. However, he has trained fully this week, as has Yunus Emery Konak, who was unavailable due to an ankle ligament injury. Both could feature this weekend. Yeah, brilliant. Another returning midfielder is Paris Maghoma, who has been unavailable since the end of last term and missed the Bees' pre-season trip to Portugal with a hamstring injury. After completing his rehabilitation and a full week of training, he may be in Saturday's squad. In his pre-match conference, Keith Andrews also spoke about new signing Dango Ouattara, who can make his Brentford debut against Aston Villa. Andrews said, "I'm really excited. It's a real shrewd bit of business from the football club. He's got serious pace, a level of ability that hasn't been showcased consistently enough, for whatever reason that is. And he's got a bit between his teeth. He feels this is the right platform for him to flourish, and I agree with that." Andrews also spoke about Johan Visser and his potential involvement at GTEC Community Stadium on Saturday. The Bees boss explained he's been training with the team. So there you go. He has. Just said about it. Anyway, in terms of being involved this weekend, I'll make a decision on the squad tomorrow. He has been a part of the group this week. There's also an update on the players who currently remain sidelined and won't be available for the visit of Unai Emery's side to West London. Vitaly Janelt is making good progress from his heel surgery last March. The 27-year-old has trained with the first team squad for the first time this week. Gustavo Nunez is back on the pitch and is completing running drills with the medical and performance team after his hamstring injury sustained against Gil Vicente in pre-season. Right, and so here's the preview. Let's go to that. And obviously with all that news, it's great news. I'm glad we got Damsgaard back in. Obviously Sharda will be fit as well, hopefully, ready to go. I would say he is. Obviously likes of Pinnock, of course, important to our defence. I'm glad he's there. We'll have Dango Ouattara raring to go, I'm sure, on new signing. It's looking pretty good, pretty confident ahead of this, to be honest. You know, I mean, it is a tough game, no doubt about it, Villa. I don't think we've really ever beaten them in the Premier that I can remember. So this will be incredible if we can get an actual victory against this lot. It'll be amazing. And we know Ollie Watkins generally scores against us. So if we can stop him scoring for a change, that'd be amazing, you know. Incredible. Yeah, match preview, Brentford versus Aston Villa, analysis, team news, match officials and more. Here's everything you need to know ahead of Brentford's first home game of the Premier League season against Aston Villa on Saturday. 3 p.m. kickoff. Keith Andrews takes charge of his first competitive Brentford game at GTEC Community Stadium on Saturday, with Aston Villa the visitors to TW8. The Bees were beaten 3-1 by Nottingham Forest on the opening weekend of the Premier League season, while Villa drew 0-0 with Newcastle United. Pre-match analysis, Stephen Gile, playmaker stats. Brentford must be wary of returning Watkins. Exactly. We've got to stop him scoring if we can. Brentford welcome Ollie Watkins to GTEC Community Stadium for the fourth time since he left the Bees back in 2020. In 7 Premier League games for Aston Villa against the Bees, Watkins has 7 goal involvements, 6 goals and an assist. Yeah, he needs to be stopped. And Brentford fans will hope his purple patch against them comes to an abrupt end when both sides meet this Saturday in search of their first victories of the fledgling 2025-26 season. Watkins plundered 26 goals for the Bees as they fell at the final hurdle in the 2019-20 season. The Exeter City Academy graduate, leaving West London on the back of an agonising 2-1 defeat to Fulham in the Championship playoff final. However, the Bees and Watkins have both gone from strength to strength since they shared Wembley heartbreak. In fact, the forward's prolific form for Aston Villa is illustrated by the fact that only Liverpool's Mohamed Salah, 112, and Man City's Erling Haaland, 87, have scored more top-flight goals than the 29-year-old, 75, since he made his Premier League debut in September 2021. It was Watkins' low drive that separated the two sides as the Villains recorded a 1-0 win in West London in March. And Brentford head coach Keith Andrews will be aware of the all-round threat posed at the sharp end of the pitch by the Bees' old boy. Given his own expertise in the area, the Midlanders' reputation as one of the savviest set piece teams in the top tier will not have escaped Andrews' attention. Under the watchful eye of their dead ball specialist Austin McPhee, the Villains ranked second in the Premier League for set pieces, scored 16 last season, and were also third for fewest goals, conceded 7 from corners, free kicks and throw-ins. Quarter-finalists in last season's Champions League, Villa have made huge strides since Unai Emery took the reins in 2022, and the Villains' home form has been exceptional. Last season, Villa lost only a single game on their patch, their opening game of the 24-25 campaign to Arsenal. And Villa Park is currently among the most formidable fortresses in Europe. A goalless draw against Newcastle in their Premier League opener stretched Villa's unbeaten league run at home to 19 games. Yet for all their dominance at home, Emery will want his side's away form to now click. After Villa lost more top-flight games, 9, than they won 8 last term. If Villa are to pick up points this Saturday, they will, in all likelihood, have to attack with more pace and penetration than they did in their stalemate with the Magpies last weekend. Currently bottom of the XG charts after game week 1 of the Premier League season, Villa took only 3 shots and created just 0.35 XG against Eddie Howe's men. Although Ezri Konsa's second half dismissal clearly altered the complexion of the game. Given the lack of spark in their draw against Newcastle, Villa fans will be keen to see new signing Evan Gusand involved at some point. The powerful and pacey forward ranked 12th in Liga 1 for successful dribbles last season, averaging 1.7 per 90 minutes, and 20 league goal involvements, 20 goals and 8 assists. In total for Nice, suggests the 24-year-old is ready to make an immediate impact for the Villains. Much like Morgan Rogers has made since signing from Middlesbrough back in early 2024. If Brentford can handle the familiar menace of Watkins and the fresh spark of Gusand, that they'll believe Saturday can mark a turning point after their opening day defeat to Nottingham Forest. Scout report, Dan Long, Sky Sports. There is every reason to believe Aston Villa's upward trajectory will continue. For the third season in succession, Aston Villa secured a top 7 finish in 2024-25. Granted, the year before will live longer in the memory, given they finished 4th for the first time since 95-96 and secured a place in the Champions League for the very first time. That was special, but this illustrated consistency and an ability to manage the added load European competition brings, as well as runs to the FA Cup semi-final and Champions League quarter-final. Villa recorded their third highest points tally, 66, third highest number of goals scored, 58, and third highest number of wins, 19. No mean feat, considering this is a club that has missed just 3 Premier League seasons in history. Villa did miss out on a return to the Champions League on the very final day of last term, though. Morgan Rogers' opener against Manchester United was controversially ruled out for offside, and later Amad Diallo and Christian Eriksen scored to seal a 2-0 win for Ruben Amorim's side. Only goal difference denied them 5th place, which was taken by Newcastle United. Regardless, Unai Emery said afterwards his side did not deserve more than the result we have. Though there were plenty of movement in the transfer window last summer, there is a strong squad in place at Villa Park, and one that is capable of challenging at the top end of the table again this term. Academy products, Kane, Kessler, Hayden, and Philip Marshall were sold earlier this summer. Before Jacob Ramsey joined Newcastle, Philip Coutinho, Courtney House, or Hawes, and Robin Olsen were among those released. The standout signing, meanwhile, has been that of striker Evan Gusan from Nice. If Ollie Watkins does make a long-rumoured exit this summer, maybe to Brentford, well, we can hope, live in hope. The Ivory Coast international is a more than able replacement. If he does not, an interesting battle for the number 9 shirt will ensue. The summer transfer window does not shut for a little while yet, so players could still come and go. But there is no denying Villa possess enviable depth in their squad. And so it will come as no surprise Emery's men are priced as short as 5 to 4 to finish in the top 6, 4 to 1 to finish in the top 4, and are 11 to 1 to finish in the top 2. They may well have a chance to go deep in the Europa League too. English clubs have won 4 of the last 9 European trophies available since the start of 22-23, which will give Villa a source of inspiration. The disappointment of narrowly missing out on the Champions League could yet serve as extra fuel, sharpening their focus for another tilt at the top 4 while embracing the opportunity to lift a rare piece of silverware. There's every reason to believe Villa's upward trajectory will continue, and another special season may be just around the corner. We all know about Unai Emery. The game plan with Patrick Rowe, football journalist at Sky Sports. Patrick Rowe, football journalist at Sky Sports, has explained how manager Unai Emery is likely to set up his Aston Villa side for Saturday's game against Brentford in the Premier League. Unai Emery has been tampering with his squad in pre-season. With 5 at the back trialled at times, however, I expect the usual 4-4-2 for this game, said Rowe. One player will be playing off Ollie Watkins up front. But these days, your guess is as good as mine as to who that will be. Could be Yuri Tielemans, John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Donyell Marlon, or even Emiliano Buendia. The latter seems to have worked his ways back into Emery's plans at Villa after a loan spell at Bayer Leverkusen last season. Last time out versus Newcastle, 4-2-3-1. Bizot, I think his name is, Cash, Konza, Mings, Digne, Kamara, Anana, McGinn, Tielemans, Rogers, Watkins. And of course, there's no Konza. He was sent off against Newcastle, so he won't be here, the XB. But obviously, there's talk of Martinez being back, so won't be easy to score against him in goal. Match officials, Harrington, the man in the middle at G-Tech Community Stadium. Yeah, so Tony Harrington, the referee. Assistants, Matt Wilkes and Mark Scholes. Fourth official, Michael Oliver. And VAR, Tim Wood. Tony Harrington refereed 27 games last season, showing 115 yellow cards and 5 reds. Harrington officiated Brentford's 2-1 win at Crystal Palace in January and the 4-0 victory at Leicester City the following month. I don't know if that means a lot, but we won both times when he's officiated, but that doesn't mean much. We still lose this time. But yeah, it could be a good omen if we win again with him as referee. That'd be brilliant. Yeah, classic clash there. Aston Villa 3, Brentford 3. Premier League 6th of April 2024. Obviously last season, Brentford and Aston Villa played out a pulsating 3-3 draw at Villa Park in April 2024. The Bees trailed by 2 goals shortly after half-time, but produced a stunning 9-minute turnaround to flip the game on its head and take a 3-2 lead before Ollie Watkins' second of the game meant the spoils were shared. Goals from Zanka, Brian Bramo and Johan Visser had cancelled out Watkins' first half header and Morgan Rogers' strike at 1 minute after the restart. but it was the former who headed home. Another, as the side had to settle for a point apiece in the Midlands. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Gone through all that. I think it's a big game, very big game for us. I'm glad, I'm happy we got, players back, important players. Damsgaard for a start. Shardy, obviously Ratara could play his first game, his debut. Plenty of actually good attacking options. Carvalho, if he steps up this time, will be good. Lewis Potter, Malambo. We got it pretty good there, to be honest, our attack. And Thiago up front, of course, got that penalty. And he's got confidence from that, scoring the penalty. So it's looking fairly good. I know this is going to be tough. I mean, I'm not counting my chickens here at all. I just feel we deserve, to come back and get a good win here. I mean, we were terrible against Forest. That first half was a shit show. We've got to forget that and move on. At least we got the backing of the home crowd, and that's good. We didn't have quite that many. Went to Forest. So let's hope now we got the full backing, we got our crowd, and let's get on and come back and win this. I'd love to win this game. It's always going to be tough, and people think we got no chance. Well, we're going to lose probably, but I don't think we can. I'm fairly confident. I'm quietly confident here. I mean, I'm not saying this really will happen, but I'm going for a 2-1. To the Bees. I just think we're due a result now, and a performance, because that one last Sunday just gone it was terrible, and we can't get much worse than that, surely. Well, not yet anyway, but I just feel we're due a good one, and at home. So I hope we can go for this and win and do it for our fans. Produce. We got a good attack there. Let's not waste this and keep the defence strong as well. Like Pinnock coming back now as well. Only strengthens our defence a bit more. I mean, it looks all at sea against Forest, and it won't be easy against Villa. We're their front line, but I just feel if we can hold on strong at the back and attack well and get our attacking play together, I think we could do it. A win, fingers crossed. 2-1 I'm going for. I could be wrong. We'll probably lose badly again. I don't know, but hoping not. Let's win this one, lads. Come on. And I'll do the reaction, hopefully, maybe tomorrow sometime later or possibly Sunday. But there'll be a reaction, of course, whatever happens. Please subscribe to me. Follow me on Insta at Mr. B for Life 182. Mr. B for Life 182. And subscribe to Mr. B Hiver Football Chat down here. And Mr. B Chats England Cricket. See it down there on the ticker. Please keep subbing, smashing the likes. I'm still on 169. Let's get that going up still, guys. It's been on that for a little while. Your support and love is much appreciated as always. And I'll never take what people are saying to heart, with obviously, mentioning about Visser again. People will disagree with what I'm saying, fair enough, but, don't take it across the line. Don't cross the white line about it and things like that, and really go for me and go for the jugular. I mean, it's just, I've got my own opinion, and you don't have to agree with it, but agree with it politely and respectfully. Disagree with it, sorry. Or if you agree with it, fair enough as well. I don't mind which, but anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, watching. I only had one person in the live chat, but thanks to him there, Tacky. And hopefully I'll have more next time for the reaction and other like transfer news maybe. Whatever happens, I'll do a stream. But obviously tomorrow, hopefully there'll be a reaction. I don't know. And other things, obviously I'll post the squad, the team. I'll post that out when I hear about it, which will be tomorrow at some stage, probably before kick-off, about 2:30, something like that. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks again. I'm going to bounce. And it's been another good one, another good stream. Well, I'm going to be getting out of here, guys. And till the next one, cheers, everyone. I'm out of here. Cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye.